right, and Mr. Chairman, we are live streaming and recording, so whenever you're ready.
So Jennifer, the mayor is actually the chairperson to this, but if you want me to get it started, I can get it started.
Yes, we're live streaming.
Is Dan Riccio on here? Oh yeah, okay, I see you. Okay, so today we're gonna go over two of our sections, all their their new program requests for 2026. And we're gonna start with the community services section, and Dan Riccio will be presenting that. And Andrew is gonna go ahead and share his screen that will show all the requests. Whenever you want to get started, Dan.
Okay, is it sharing the screen now?
It is. Yep. Can you see it?
I don't see it, but I've got it in front of me.
Okay.
So I'll start with livability and tourism. Under the tourism division, our department now has 4 divisions, including livability, tourism, cultural affairs, economic, and neighborhood services. The only division that does not have a division director is our tourism division. We're requesting to fill this position. Just as a little backdrop, when the mayor reorganized our sections and departments, I was able to shift some positions and reallocate, which filled 2 other positions that were currently budgeted. That would be the Economic and Neighborhood Services division manager or division director and the livability director. So those were already budgeted. We're asking to complete our process and approve that position to give added exposure to our department in the tourism industry. Any questions on that? Okay. Our new program we're asking for is Your Love Your Block, which is currently it's a I'll give the history. In 2024, our Department of Livability and Tourism received a Love Your Block grant. The program is focused on resident-led neighborhood revitalization projects, established and supported by Bloomberg Philanthropies. It builds on a successful legacy of city services. The goal of this program is to reduce blight conditions as well as strengthen social cohesion among the residents. It increases civic participation and builds a strong relationship with community members, leading to the great trust in our local government. Our division encounters residents with code violations that they do not have the ability or resources to address. This program has been successful in having a hand up instead of a handout. So basically, neighbors are engaged in improving the blight in their communities. We currently are focused in the Ardmore Sherwood Forest subdivision, which has been very successful. Through the Love Your Block grant and the first round of projects, we've been able to work with 16 properties to resolve blight conditions through the modest grant amount of $20,000 for each of the 2 rounds. That's the volunteer labor and existing city resources. This new program request would take the Love Your Block program and make it a part of the work that our division already does and actually help in the efforts to reduce blight in the neighborhoods most needing assistance, other than the 2 that we're focusing on at the present. We were proposed to work in a new neighborhood each year. Residents, nonprofits, and community members will be able to propose and apply for projects in those neighborhoods. A dedicated staff member would manage all the projects and build the connection with each neighborhood we work in. The individual would be responsible for working across other city departments to utilize existing city resources to complete the work needed. This grant includes the Love Your Block Fellow and the Vista. These two positions work to organize the project planning, volunteers, and work from the start to completion of each project. And that is the Levy Block. Are there any questions on that? Having none. Moving on to the Department of Recreation. We're requesting a recreation community program for Johns Island staff and programming, adding monthly family events and programming on Johns Island, and needs staffing and to reorganize and run program. We want to get a jump on before the facility is built. This person and the assistant or the part-time staff member would be helping engage the community in current programs, training, and just being ready for when the doors open to the new facility. Our next on the recreation requests is the gymnastics coordinator position. We would upgrade to a manager position. We're changing current gymnastics coordinator to a manager position. Coordinator oversees 2 full-time staff, 10 part-time staff. They manage a recreation program in the spring and the fall and has 375 students each session. Summer camps every week for all ages. That is another 300 children. This position also oversees our competitive gymnastics of 45 kids of 7 different levels. This is developing routines, spotting techniques for the moves on the apparatuses. This position requires multiple safety certifications for her individual coaches in team coaching and for maintaining a safe gym for the city. Specific training for the level of coaching as well. Travel during travel season becomes an issue as well, with hours during the week when the travels and the work 3 days meet over those periods. Any questions on that request? Okay. Under youth sports, our voluntary appreciation dinner. I know it's been brought up in past recreation committees and public input. So we'd like to host volunteer appreciation dinners for our coaches throughout the year. So we're asking for that budget. And recreation facility operations for the Muni Golf Course. They requested golf positions or professionals for better oversight of the front house of operations, in addition to the golf programs to alleviate current wait lists and demand for new options. So that's the final of our requests. And if anybody has any questions, I'd be glad to answer. Okay. I am complete.
Moving on to Robbie now.
Yeah. Andrew's going to share Robbie's screen, unless you had something you want to share, Robbie.
I do not.
Okay. So this is Public Works section.
Afternoon, everybody. Again, Robbie Somerville, Section Chief Public Works. Also got on the call Matt Altop, who's a Director of Public Service, and Michael Mathis, Director of Traffic and Transportation, to assist me if there's any questions or anything I missed that we need to put in front of this committee. So first, we're going to start with the public service, which is we're requesting a second
Robbie,
pressure.
hang on one second, because Andrew's computer is going really slow. We seem to all be having IT issues. So he's not sharing a screen just yet. Here it comes.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. Sorry.
That's hard to see. But anyway, so we're requesting a second pressure washing crew, which is made up of 3 people to mainly clean the streets and sidewalks on King, Broad, and Meeting Street. We have an existing crew that does it now, but they're only able to do about 2 blocks at a time. So to be more efficient and more effective, we are requesting an additional crew to be able to get that done. The second request is for a cement truck. Our streets and sidewalks, of course, we repair concrete sidewalks and curbs, and we often have to schedule with the concrete companies to be able to get the concrete needed. And having this truck will, again, make us more efficient. We'll be able to respond quicker, and we think get more done with us having this ourselves.
Just for clarity, because I asked this question earlier, this is not a mixing truck. This is a truck that could haul a ready mix that's poured into the back of it versus, a mixing truck, right? When I think of a cement truck, people think of the thing that has the mixer spinning on the back of it. We're not talking about that. This is literally just to transport it. So we're not beholden to a ready mixer in a large order that they might have, correct?
That's correct. Matt Altop, you got anything to add?
Yeah, it does spin just to keep the concrete moving and keeping it so it's not hardening in the truck. So it does spin, but we just go to the concrete site and then we'll tell them what we need and they'll load it into the truck for us. And then we take it out and we can deliver it to the sites ourselves. Currently, we're getting small load fees. We're getting move fees, and there's fuel surcharge that we're being charged from each concrete company. So every time we order it, we get these other fees, and we feel like those fees will pay for this truck over the 7 years that we depreciated it at.
Got it. And then Councilman Gregg has a question.
Yeah, I mean, this has been something that I've been a little concerned about, just as I've seen the quality of the or lack thereof of what the city crews have been doing as far as sidewalk repairs. If we're going to do this, then we need to invest in better training or something, because the quality of the sidewalk repairs that we're getting by the city crews is pretty abysmal. I just feel like if we're going to invest in more capital on this and we're not going to outsource, I personally think we ought to be just outsourcing the sidewalk repair to a third-party contractor. And I think the budget sort of lends itself to that. But if we want to go down this route, then I think we've got to do something with regards to our quality control on the sidewalk repair, because what we're doing now just is not acceptable.
I agree, council member, and we spoke about it before, and I think by the mayor putting me in this role, that's one of my duties, is to make sure we are producing and doing better quality of work. So we do outsource. We do have companies that can come in and do the work for us, but there's a lot of repairs that we can do in-house, and I agree that we can do much better jobs, and that'll be my responsibility to make sure that happens.
Yeah, and sorry to bring this up in a public meeting. I didn't get this sheet until like 10 minutes ago or whatever. So I would have called you if I'd seen this on the agenda.
So we have made, Councilman, we also have made some new hiring in that department. We've moved Luigi. He's applied and he's now the superintendent over there. And so things are a lot more efficient and at a higher standard than they were before.
Okay, well, that's good to hear. I look forward to seeing it.
Robbie, can we talk a little bit more about the pressure washing? 2 blocks a day seems like a pretty low turnout. I mean, and to what extent is the bid contributing towards this, the King Street bid in particular, and complementing this effort?
I don't want to say not much at all. I mean, they do help by, they do have staff out there to help try to clean, but we're not getting too much support from them. So the majority of the load has been on the public service side.
The 2 blocks, Mayor, is not what you consider 2 blocks. It's the 2 long blocks down there. So it's probably like 3 or 4 blocks long. The problem is we only have a certain time frame that we can do it because we use hot water and we don't want to splash anybody that's walking by with the hot water. So we have a short window that we can safely use the pressure washer in.
I got it. So then what would these crews be doing outside of that narrow window?
Yeah, so they also start once the window is closed, they'll get brooms and dustpans, and they also go out there and pick up litter and any other issues that they see along King Street, kind of like the bid does. They change the litter baskets, they pick up litter, they use the glutton vacuums along King Street to make sure that everything is being picked up.
And one last question. I mean, this would be a total of 3 crews, or no, this would be a total of 2, one existing and then this is adding one.
Correct. Yep. And our goal would be to put one on each end and have them work towards each other.
But this
So
is
that way.
but this is just for King Street.
So we use them on King Street. We do it on Meeting Street around Hyman's, that area around Hyman's. We'll have them over there. And then we do use them on Bluestone, on Broad Street. And that will get larger when the project is complete down there. And then they are also used if Dan's is down or something to help with the graffiti removal.
That's all the questions I have.
Was there any more questions on public service?
Yeah, so let me ask a question on that. I hear it on King Street, and I understand, the need on King Street, in particular with heavy, tourist traffic exists constantly. But what about areas like, for example, the flyover from Herbert Fielding Boulevard, where you got the flyover, that comes over, I guess that's Foley Road, and 61 back to St. Andrews Boulevard. That's one of those things where, it's probably never been power washed. That you power wash one time and I don't know, maybe it'd be 3-4 years before you have to do it again. Is that another, state versus city type maintenance deal? Or because when you come up the little concrete barrier is what I'm talking about, where cars are brushed up against, and that's one of those things where, shoot, man, I think if you do it once every couple of years, but once every 2 or 3 years, it'll last in between the next cleaning. Not something that's got to be done monthly. Or can this equipment be used for something like that too?
It could, but I do think that is a DOT right away that it's really their responsibility to clean up. But we could look at it. Again, with the resources we have, it'll be tough to do. But
Well, what about the conversations with DOT to get in line for it to be done through DOT?
absolutely.
I know I don't think we even have, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think we having that conversation. So there's only a couple of spots like that in the city. That's one. When you're coming up to James Island, connect primarily from James Island, you got that, and then I think we're coming. I don't even know if it's that bad, but we're coming hits 26. And then when you come down from Mount Pleasant onto Morrison Drive, that ramp, we only got like 4, maybe 5 spots that something like that needs to be again power washed. I think it would make a difference, but at least start the conversation with, in particular, the gateways to the city of Charleston. That's all I'm saying.
Absolutely. I've had conversations with DOT like regarding curb inlets, drains, in which they've been pretty responsive. So yeah, we can get that conversation going.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Sullivan.
Yes, sir. Okay, moving on to TNT. All right, so with traffic and transportation, the first request we have is our smart signal technologies. This is for Folly Road, and you'll see number 2 is for Clements Ferry Road as well. This is an AI, basically sensors. We currently had it approved last year on Maybank. between River and the bridge, as well as it's being implemented now on Calhoun Street. And again, this technology is basically to provide cameras, information, data collection with accident information, near misses. Provides an app that will communicate with the drivers. It will let people know when the signals are ready to turn, green versus red. And it's information that we feel that's going to be very productive within the city in general. And again, we implemented it on Maybank Highway. Unfortunately, we did have a problem with one of the cameras getting struck by lightning. So that delayed the process. And, we have cameras on Calhoun as well. So you'll see the first one for Folly Road, dollar amount is at the 785,000 because we have 11 signalized locations that would be treated. Clements Ferry Road, there's, I believe, 5 locations that will be untreated. So that's why the cost is a little bit lower. But this technology we feel is, AI is the way to go. It's going to help us in the long run. And we like to move forward with those 2 locations. Any questions regarding? Okay. All right, so we'll move on to the number 3, which is the flood management travel advisory dynamic management signs. These are basically informational signs. They're overhead signs that will let motorists know if there's an event, if there's something going on at the 6 locations provided on the list as you're entering or within the peninsula. Kind of like what you see on I-26, it'll be an overhead sign, that we can use if there's, rain events, road closures. If there's accidents, it's an advisory sign that we can put out there and get information to the motorists to let them know what's going on. We can also use it for events. Again, this will tie into our traffic management center, in which we're in the process of hiring somebody to be in that position to where they'll be able to manually operate these boards from our traffic management center. So that's our request for number 3. Number 4 is basically it's a gate arm system.
Hey, Ronnie, before you go on to that, I'm
Yes, sir.
curious, can you provide some specs? I mean, these would be pretty significant signs over these right of ways, and we definitely need a messaging capabilities, just given the complexities of our increasing number of floods. But to have a permanent structure there, I think it'll be important to understand what it looks like. So if you could circulate something to the council members or through the clerk that can be circulated, I think that would be very helpful.
Absolutely. Sure thing. Okay. So moving on to number 4, the flood alert system, automatic gate arm. That's for the 1761 split. We've had problems at that location just with your standard flooding. And with the resources, this will help out the police going to have to place barricades to block off that, the off ramp on the 61. This will be a standalone automatic arm that will go out and actually close off the street. So we feel that this is important because that location has been a flood risk for some time now.
Mr. Somerville,
Yes, sir.
before leaving that, maybe this is a question for the mayor. I know there's been some talk about raising that road, that connection. I guess where are we in there? Is that part of the next half cent sales tax? Are we looking at another funding source? Because that's the real answer there. Believe it or not, I remember when that never used to flood. So it's just the sea level rise is real. So I mean, are we pursuing any funding for a fix or?
We've applied for grants with DOT specifically for that, raising of that road. And if that is not successful, that would be one of the priorities for either the half-cent sales tax or the partnership, high limit minimum flooding study or initiative with the Army Corps.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
Okay, so back to our electronics traffic signal division. We're at that time to where we're going to have to replace our video wall in our traffic management center. The expected is 5 to 7 year life on each of the I guess the monitors, in which I believe these monitors were installed in 2018. So we're about at that 7 year mark. So we have 9 monitors that operate the traffic management center. So we want to replace those monitors to make sure we stay in operation. Moving on to number 6 is the design specialist system. Currently, we have in our signs and markings division, we have a design specialist and an assistant design specialist. And really, the assistant design specialist has been here for several years, is basically doing the same job as a design specialist. And they actually report to the supervisor over the signs and markings division. So we're just requesting to really get rid of the assistant design specialists and have 2 design specialist systems in our signs and markings division. Moving on, number 7 is a retro reflective meter. Basically, I will say that when I started in 96, we actually had one of these in our signs and markings division, and this is used to monitor the reflectiveness of our traffic control signage. You know, the signs, like a stop sign, will have a certain amount of reflectivity for a vehicle headlights to hit it and reflect back on it so motorists can see it. And we're supposed to, per the federal highway guidelines and the manual and uniform traffic control devices, we're supposed to monitor that, make sure that the signs stay clearly visible. And so this retro reflective meter will assist us with that. All right, number 8 is with our parking enforcement division. We're requesting another vehicle, pickup truck, really to help with our emergency management system, with the help of placing barricades and to assist the emergency management as well as CPD, any storm events or any special events, moving barricades and stuff like that. So we're looking for a bigger vehicle that we can use to be able to assist emergency management. Number 9 is the InstaAlert variable message board. This is a safety device that goes behind. It would go behind our vehicles and be used with our traffic signal division, mainly with working at night or working in traffic, period. It's basically a message board to help the oncoming traffic, let them know that work is going on, to change lanes and be aware of our crews working. So that is the variable message board.
Mr. Somerville.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if this is the right way to bring this question up anyway. On Morrison Drive, where the road improvements are being made, across from Sanders Clyde, the landscape median that's being put in and resurfacing. There's a
sir.
portion of Morrison Drive somewhere between Grace Street and maybe before Sanders Clyde that floods during the king tides and rain events. And I think it gets pretty deep in that area. People run into that area once the improvements are done. They're not going to be able to do a U-turn and kind of get out of there. We got any thinking on that?
That's actually one of the flood management travel advisory sign locations that we suggested that I mentioned earlier. I think that was our request number 3. Because Morrison Drive, yes, that is a flood prone area. And, if we had an overhead sign to alert motorists to let them know that the road is closed, then maybe they could detour off a Hugie Street or another street before, getting into that flood prone area. Now, we try to go out and put our mobile variable message boards out. But a lot of times if we don't have staff available, that makes it difficult. So again, having the overhead sign would definitely assist, because we can do that by the traffic management center, or Troy can even do that from his computer system at home.
Okay, so I'm a tourist from Idaho, and I rent a car, and I driving there and not realizing it's as deep as it is. What type retrieval vehicle that'll be able to back up and tow me out of there? Because I won't be able to drive out.
Well, towing is going to be different. I think we would have to use our CPD tow contract to get Jennings to assist with towing. But the type of vehicles we were talking about for Chiron is mainly to place barricades.
Right.
And then we want to have signage to alert motorists of the flooded area. But we wouldn't have the vehicles to be able to tow flooded vehicles out.
Yeah, I mean, my point is that's probably going to happen, is what I'm saying. Believe it or not,
Mhm.
the last rain event, I mean, so many people know how deep the water gets at Hugie and King. And believe it or not, had a car that drove in there and was just stranded in the little pond that takes place there till the tide goes down. All I'm saying is, do we have a private contractor that will have a tow truck that can come and help, or the people, or somebody in that situation? I'll just have to wait till the tide goes down.
Okay, if I can, this is something we're looking at with the emergency management within fire. And fire does have a high water vehicle that can get to people. Whether or not it can tow people is a different story. But in terms of rescue, we have equipment for that. But this is part of a larger initiative that is being worked on with staff, not just staff with the city, but even with the county and state, just updating some of our emergency management protocol, not just with hurricanes and the like, but also these increasingly frequent, significant flooding events.
Right. Either that, or can we, I don't know, is that a state road or something? It'd be good if we could have a place where people could do a U-turn and get out, as opposed to, I came through there yesterday, and I kind of thought about that, and I'm saying to myself,
Good point. I mean,
yeah, and they got a couple of curb cuts in there now, but it'd be pretty nice to have a curb cut before, where we know the flooding occurs on either end, coming into town or certainly leaving town. So
right.
it'd be a lot easier to put a curb cut. That's easier said than done now, such that a person could back up and do a U-turn and get out of there. Anyway, it's preventative talk. That's all it says.
Bart.
Okay. Okay, I think we're moving on to number 10. Back to our signs and markings division. We currently have iWorks, which is our you know, we were requesting iWorks, which is a new software system to track our signs. We use Munis now, which does a decent job, but we need more of a detailed information on when signs are installed, the type of signs, having certain coding on the signs so we can track when they're due to be replaced, as well as the markings. This iWorks will help track everything that we do in real time and give us better inventory on the signs that are out there on the streets, within the city and when they're due to be changed out. So this is a, excellent piece of software that we really want to upgrade to. Moving on to 11, again, with our signs and markings division with traffic design, we're looking for a new traffic jet express. Kia is the the name of the actual printer that we're requesting. We currently have a printer in-house now, but I think we got it in 2023, and we're currently had some problems with it where we were kind of, dead in the woods with not being able to fabricate signs. So this new printer will provide more, as it's a lot larger printer. It'll allow us to do more signage and according to the manual and uniform traffic control devices. So we're just due to upgrade our printing devices at the Signs and Markings Division. And the last request is a F-350 pickup truck. Last year, the city approved us to have an actual markings division. So we got, a personnel that's their only job is to go out and refresh the markings in the city. But this truck will help pull our thermoplastic kettle. It's a big trailer. It's got to be a F-350 to be able to operate without a CDL driver's license. So we need this truck to pull that thermoplastic kettle. And I believe that's all I have.
All right, any other questions from members of the committee?
No, I do. Let some other people talk first. I've had a lot to say. If nobody else, Mr. Mayor, this happened obviously a number of years ago. I don't know whether this comes under Mr. Somerville's request or Chief Cheetah Walker's request, but some years ago we had some break-ins off of the Greenway, and the bad actors would break in people's homes, come to the Greenway and use the Greenway as a getaway. Okay. So this is when Chief Mullins was police chief. So we had pigeonholed some monies for cameras, believe it or not, to be able to surveil the Greenway. And one of the issues was being able to hit the, receiver, lack of sophistication at our police station on Lockwood, so we can have camera monitoring that area. I don't know whether COVID or something knocked it out. I'm sure someplace down the line, Ms. Amy can at another time recount when we had, but I think we have something like 250 or something set aside for extra cameras. Well, fast forward years later, we got far more traffic on the far more usage, I should say, on the Greenway. And the idea was to put cameras on Dominion's poles so they can send the signal over to our police station. So when you were talking about additional cameras, Mr. Somerville, that idea came up. We're encouraging, we're improving, by the way, with grant dollars, the greenway as well as the bikeway. But from a safety perspective, it'd be great if we can go back to that idea probably almost 7, 8 years ago and see whether we can resurrect that for additional security on the greenway and the bikeway.
Councilmember Waring, we can talk to Chief Walker about that. And I don't know that they haven't done some of that already, but we can talk with him about that.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, I got Councilman Seekings.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. Robbie, it's hard for me to see that spreadsheet. I don't have it printed, and I don't know if I missed it. Is one of the things that's in your budget request, or have we already funded some upgrading on the timing signals on the peninsula so we can actually get them coordinated? You know what my favorite street is, but there's a few of them, including Cumming Street, that would be nice to see fixed.
The DOT actually retimed or did this signal retirement project on the peninsula. I think we're at the final stages to where they're going to be meeting with the city
Okay.
to discuss where we go from there. You know, and that includes the all pedestrian signalized intersections. So that'll be coming up shortly.
And then on Calhoun Street, the technology programming that we're doing there, that's not signal coordination, right? That's just information gathering. Is that what that is?
Right now, yes, that's information gathering. Basically, I want to say from Cumming Street down to East Bay, if I'm correct.
What do we do with that information?
Well, right now, again, it'll track, you know, near misses, close calls. Again, it'll have an app-based system to where you'll sign up on an app and it'll alert you of if there's an event happening in the city, if there's, you know, the signal's getting ready to turn red, and so it'll be a lot of information provided to both the city as well as to the people that sign up on the app.
Okay, thanks.
All right, any other questions? Anything from you, Amy?
No, just our next
Andy?
meeting is next Wednesday on the 10th, and we'll go over police and fires requests then.
Okay.
Okay.
And when can we get out those requests in advance?
So I will send them, we're cleaning some of them up. We met with Chief Walker today, so we have just a little bit of cleanup, but I will get them out before. And I apologize because I thought I had attached everything to send out, and these were not attached to my meeting requests like I thought they were. So my apologies for that. So, but we will get them out early with the agendas than the day of the meeting. Yes.
Any further old business or what's on the agenda? If not, I guess we are adjourned. Thanks everybody for thoughts, and we'll see some of you tomorrow.